The latest jobs report found that unemployment ticked down slightly to 4.2% last month. However, that was the first dip since March, and the historically low rate still remains higher than the same time last year.
And here to discuss is Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su. Thank you so much for being
here
with us.
Thank you.
So putting this all kind of in the big picture perspective, we saw that big interest rate cut last week. How do you think that's going to affect jobs?
Well, look, so this economy has had a recovery like most people said was going to be impossible. Let's just remember where we were, right? Just 4 years ago, we were in the midst of a global pandemic with no national strategy to get it under control. In fact, the person in the White House denied that it was a real thing and used it to unleash a torrent of racism, calling it the China virus, Kung flu. And this administration came in under President Biden and Vice President Harris, and we've had almost 16 million jobs created in the last 4 years. That's the most created under any president in our nation's history. And meanwhile, unemployment rate has remained historically low. Most people said there's no way we could get to an unemployment rate of 4%. Not only did we get there, it was under 4% for the longest stretch since Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. And so we've been in this place where many people have said, you know, the economy is too hot, it's going to crash. Now we're heading for a recession. Every indicator has been that we've had strong job growth, strong GDP, and workers are doing better, which was really fundamental to the vision of how we create an economy that works for everybody.
And with that said, last week unemployment benefits hit a 4-month low. So what's your assessment of this latest data and labor market strength?
Yeah, I mean, we track the data because it helps us to know whether what we are doing is working, right? Our policies like investing billions of dollars in communities across the country to repair roads and bridges, make sure every family who turns on the faucet gets clean drinking water, make sure every community has high-speed, reliable internet. Are those policies working? And what they're doing is not only creating those things, but they're also creating good jobs in communities all across the country. You know, investments in our manufacturing. This president has had an industrial strategy for the first time in decades, meaning we should make things in America again. We should make sure, and those should be good jobs, good union jobs where people can live a decent life, where they can retire with dignity. And so our numbers help us to evaluate if what we're doing is working. And by all of those measures, our economy has had steady and stable growth for a long time. And we need to keep on doing that work, right, for the entire 4 years that we've been here.
We have to ask you about the Boeing strike. Speaking of workers organizing, 33,000 factory workers currently on strike. They're asking for higher pay. Do you know where this stands? Do you think we'll have a deal on this anytime soon?
Right. So this is an example of, the bottom line is workers in this country are tired of being taken for granted. Right? Workers want their fair share. They shouldn't and don't want to be made to feel invisible. And so in this economy, in this Biden-Harris administration that has said to build a strong economy, workers have to come first. Workers are having different outcomes, and part of that is being able to go to the bargaining table and demand their fair share of wages, decent benefits, so when they get sick they can go to the doctor without risking their family savings, right? Again, retirement with dignity, it's a big part of having a good job. And so in that situation, the parties negotiated. They did not reach a contract, but they continued to talk, and that's an important piece of it too. And we always encourage parties to stay at the table and until they reach a good deal. And we've seen that in hundreds of negotiations over, especially in the last couple of years, because unions have a bigger say than they've ever had.
And speaking of having a good job, this past summer you went on a Good Jobs tour. You got a chance to speak with local leaders across the country. So what did you learn and what progress have we made?
So we believe not just that the number of jobs is important, but the quality of those jobs matters too, right? That, we don't want an economy that's built on a race to the bottom. Like, we want one where working people get to get up each day, know that at the end of the day they're going to be paid what they were promised, and know that they're going to come home healthy and safe at the end of the workday. All of those are really fundamental to a good job. And what I see is local leaders, mayors, governors, who all share that vision. And so, and we're working together with them to make sure that every job that gets created through the billions of dollars that are pouring into communities in order to invest and build back up America are good jobs for working people. And so I get to, one of my favorite parts of the job is getting to talk to local leaders about how we make sure that happens, and that once we create those good jobs, that every community can see themselves in them, that we eliminate the barriers that too many communities have faced in the past.
Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su. Madam Secretary, thank you for being with us.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate it,
much.
and good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank
Yes.
you.